gate was 7.26 million. The attendance was 18,186. Highest grossing live event in arena history. Highest grossing MMA event in California history. Fight of the night was Lemos and Dern. The performance of the night was Zhang, Topuria, and Hernandez. They all won $50,000. Congrats to them.
Danny, you just laid out the numbers there. Obviously, you've made a commitment to the Honda Center moving forward. An amazing week, an amazing fight night. I guess just first off, your thoughts overall on this fight weekend and tonight.
Yeah, it's good to be back. This arena's been very good to us for a long time, and we like the guys who run this place, and we look forward to doing it. They have big plans for around here too. They're building an experience here, so happy to be back with these guys.
Capped off by an incredible main event, Ilia Topuria. Man, he seemed to be the enemy all week long, but now it seems like a star. I mean, we're hearing these chants outside this venue right now. I mean, what are your thoughts on him as a champion?
Yeah, no, listen, a lot of questions going into this thing. You know, never been in a main event like this, never felt the heat, the pressure. He couldn't have looked any better. Against a Volk who looked really good too. That fight was heating up, they were exchanging. Topuria looked solid, man, very solid.
Ilia immediately said, hey, he wants to go to Spain to do this. You had mentioned Spain before it was on the radio. Does that become an immediate priority?
I want to go to Spain too. We're going to Spain. Yeah.
You think his first title defense will be there, or is that too soon to make happen?
No. Yeah. If there's a venue available for us, we'll be there.
Alexander Volkanovski, a great champion, right? He mentioned maybe a rematch. What do you think? I mean, he's given rematches. This was a pretty decisive result, but, you know, he's been a great champion, given rematches along the way. What do you think? Is he deserving of a rematch, or is that not?
I don't know yet. Just happened. I'm not even thinking about that right now.
A couple other ones real quick. Robert Whitaker, an amazing performance from him tonight as well.
Both guys. I thought they both looked good. Costa, so durable, man. So big, so durable. That front leg, it was almost disfigured. It was so nasty. He stayed in there, kept swinging, kept getting kicked in the leg, kept moving forward, stayed in the fight. Both guys look solid.
Yeah. When you have your matchmaker meetings, will Robert be in your title discussions? I mean, is he right there? I mean, obviously he's had some losses to champs and that sort of thing, but a former champion. I mean, do you feel like he's at least in the discussion for a #1 contender type fight?
Of course he is. I mean, the former champion himself looked good tonight against a big, strong, durable guy who you could tell was motivated and wanted to win. We've had some weird history with Costa, but when you look at the Rockhold fight and then you look at the fight tonight, Costa comes to fight, man. When you can get him in here, here comes the fight.
Yeah. Last one, I know you don't make fights, but Murad Dvalishvili, Joe Rogan said it, but I mean, he's got to be next, right? I mean, O'Malley and Cheeto, he's got to be that for the winner.
Yeah.
And then last
he looked good tonight, man. He came in and did what he had to. Listen, when you're, in my opinion, you can't take 3 years off in a combat sport. It's never done well for anybody. And Cejudo, looked great in the first round. Thought he started to gas out in the second round. Murad just got stronger as the fight went on.
Yeah. Last thing I'll just ask you about the UFC 300 main event. You talked about all the drama that it took building up to it, and all the options you looked at. Why did you settle on what you settled, and what are your thoughts on the fight?
I wouldn't say that I settled.
Decided on it. That's my apology.
Yeah. Listen, we were out there talking to lots of people, trying to make lots of fights, and in this business, it's about taking opportunities. Headlining UFC 300 with all the buzz and all the energy around it. Let me say this: Leon Edwards has had like 3 opponents throughout this thing. Leon Edwards doesn't say no to anybody. This kid is an absolute stud. He's had like 3 opponents thrown at him during UFC 300. Yes. Was willing to take on anybody, man. Kid's an absolute stud. Leon, thank you. Much respect.
Daniel, going back to the guys that haven't taken that opportunity to get on the headline of UFC 300, why was that? Were they asking for too much money? Did they feel that?
No. This was not about money. It was all about timing. You got 3 killer cards in a row, and in this business you have injuries and all kinds of other bullshit that goes on behind the scenes. And we've been talking about 300 forever, and we were just trying to make the best fights that we could possibly make. We had 2 more fights to make, and we were trying to put on two badass fights. So these two guys are it. I mean, I'm sure if you saw the video, I walked through who they both are, what they've both done. Both guys are hungry. They both want it. No way that fight sucks.
In the past, we've seen for UFC 200, for Conor Aldo, we've seen these like epic trailers, sort of movie trailers. Do you think we could see one of them come back for 300?
Say that again?
In the past, for big events like Conor versus Aldo, you had them walking down the street in Las Vegas. Do you think we could get one of those trailers for 300?
No, I have to now that you said it. I gotta figure something out.
You're welcome, everybody.
Thank you.
And you know, this week you went viral for your new dislike of podcasts. Is there no point in anyone asking you to join those again?
Yeah, please. You know where I'm at with the podcast. I feel like fucking Jordan Peterson every time I turn on Instagram. I'm on a fucking podcast. Yes, no more podcasts, please. Podcast it out.
By the way, did Rob and Costa get a bonus? You mentioned how good that fight was.
Did what?
Did Rob and Costa get some extra money for their fight?
They did not. They did not. We gave out 3 performance bonuses and a fight of the night. We'll kick them something up. We'll take care of them for you. You're welcome.
Buenas noches, Dana. Por aquí.
Hey, how are you?
How are you? Quería saber, pregunta question in Spanish, quería saber qué valoración hace de la actuación de Ilia Topuria y si cree que puede ser la siguiente superestrella de la UFC.
How you analyze Ilia's performance? Oh, my bad, sorry.
Just wanted to know what you think of Ilia's performance and how do you think of him going forward as champion of the UFC?
Yeah, I think he looked great. Listen, obviously, Volk's one of the greatest of all time, and he's definitely the greatest in that weight class ever. And Topuria looked damn good in his last fight, and he looked damn good tonight. If he keeps his head together and, you know, continues to do what he's doing, he's going to be a force in that division.
Es un grande, tuvo una tremenda actuación, sabemos como Volk es un grande también del deporte, Ilia tuvo una actuación tremenda la última vez y ahora, o sea, si sigue así, va a ser tremendo también en el futuro.
Volkanovski ha pedido inmediatamente la revancha y ha dicho que no le importaría ir hasta España. ¿Cree Dana que este puede ser un movimiento interesante este mismo año?
Volkanovski immediately asked for the rematch, and he said he wouldn't mind going to Spain. Do you think that would be a cool thing to do?
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to Spain. Who he's going to be facing, I don't know yet, but I have a lot of respect for Volkanovski. We'll see how that plays out, but as long as there's a venue, we're going to Spain.
Definitivamente vamos a España, no sabemos exactamente cuál sería el adversario, pero vamos a ver si sea Volkanovski. Solo tenemos que ver la arena y dónde lo hacemos, pero definitivamente vamos a ir a España.
Hablando de la arena, se ha hablado mucho del Santiago Bernabéu. ¿Hay un interés real en intentar hacer un evento en el Santiago Bernabéu?
Talking about the venue, much has been said about the Santiago Bernabéu, the new stadium for Real Madrid in Madrid. Is there a real interest in actually doing
How many seats is that?
¿Con 80,000?
Sí, completo sí, la mitad unos 35.000.
Full for soccer, 80,000, about 35,000 if you actually cut it into an arena for an event.
Indoor or outdoor?
Indoor. No? Sería todo bien, ¿no? It'll be.
I like it. Sounds good, yeah. Sounds good.
Y por último, ¿podría debutar la UFC directamente con un pay-per-view, con un evento numerado en España?
And lastly, could the UFC debut in Spain with a pay-per-view? Could it be could the UFC debut in Spain with a pay-per-view?
He's a champion. The guy from Spain is the world champion, yes, it would be a pay-per-view.
Es un español, representa a España como campeón, definitivamente sería para Mauricio.
Okay, amazing, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Hi, Gina. Right here.
Yeah.
I just got one for you. I wonder if you could talk to me about the decision to put Wanderlei Silva in the Hall of Fame.
He deserves to be. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Back when, you know, me and the Fertittas got into this sport, and we were huge Wanderlei Silva fans, and you know, everybody that was a hardcore fan back then was a big fan of Pride, and you know, a lot of big stars came out of there, and Wanderlei has done a lot for the sport in the early days, and he deserves to be in there. Yeah.
You got asked about Alexander Volkanovski's future and stuff, but it's 2 knockouts in about 4 months now. Do you think, I know he likes to be so active, but do you think he needs to take a little break now?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what he's going to want to do, but that's up to doctors, not me. If the doctor says he's cleared to fight, it's up to the doctor. I don't determine whether he's healthy enough to compete. Doctors do.
And you heaped a lot of praise on Leon Edwards there for his willingness to fight at 300.
Yeah.
What happens now? He's not going to be on the card, so is he wanting to fight soon? Or are you trying to get him on 1 or 3 or 2?
Yeah, listen, the guy's willing to fight 3 different opponents, and obviously if it was for UFC 300, it's 3 nasty opponents. This guy doesn't care. He'll fight anybody, and think about this. We call, when we're talking about UFC 300, you're going to headline, you're going to fight this guy. Then we call back and say, the fight that's going to happen, you're going to fight this guy, right? And then the 3rd time we call and change opponents on him again. It's just crazy, and this guy could care less. He's up for the challenge. He's ready to fight anybody. I love it. Respect it very much.
So you sorted through a few different opponents for him. Where do you go back to next time? Is it still Bilal at like the top?
I have no idea what we're going to do yet. He's not fighting on 300 when we figure it out.
Yeah.
Then we'll...
And just last thing I wanted to ask you about Mackenzie Dern. She took another rough loss, but she's been very exciting these past few, but it's more because she's been on the feet, kind of throwing. I guess what would the advice to her, someone like her be in terms of evolving and maybe trying to stay away from this type of damage she's taken the past few fights?
She's not on the transport thing. Did she?
She get transported?
We were.
No. She didn't get transported.
That's fucking crazy. We were convinced that she had a broken orbital in that fight. When she went down with the eye thing, we were convinced it was a broken orbital, and she fought through it. But I'm shocked that it's not. You just reminded me of that, and I just looked. She's not on there. She's so fucking tough, man. She is so tough. And what's your question? Yeah, she's awesome. She's awesome.
And last thing, Mark Zuckerberg walked out with Volk. He was here cage side having a blast during Mackenzie's fight. Did he ask to do that, to walk out, or was that Volk's idea?
Volk did. Yeah, Volk asked him to walk with him, and people ask me about that type of stuff. It's like, even a guy like Mark Zuckerberg, who, you have everything. There's a couple things in this business. First of all, number one, first and foremost, there's the fight, right? When you have the opportunity to come to one of these fights and sit in the crowd, Hunter was telling me tonight, the guy from Imagine Dragons was like, holy shit, this is one of the, most intense sporting events I've ever been to, and yeah. Then, to stand where I stand for a face-off when you got these big fights, it's without a doubt one of the most unique and incredible things to do in your lifetime if you're a huge fan. And the other one will be to walk out with a world champion as he's going out to defend his title. So no matter how much money you have, no matter what you have in life, it's one of those very unique, amazing things if you get the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, his passion for the sport is obviously very genuine. I know he's dealing with the knee recovery and stuff, but he said he wants to do an MMA fight. I know the Elon thing is in the past, but if he wanted to do that, is that something you would want to work with, or does he need to fight somewhere lower?
I don't know. I know he wants to fight, and he loves this sport. I mean, this guy loves this sport. He's super passionate about it. He brings fighters out all the time to train with him and stuff, and everybody in this room knows this, or most of the people in this room anyway. When you get into this sport, it's fucking fascinating the way this pulls you in. And when you think about the people that Habib didn't even make it to the locker room and Putin was on the phone. Valentina Shevchenko meets with the president of her country every time she goes back there. The royal family in Abu Dhabi. The list goes on and on of the people that, these powerful, extremely wealthy people that just fall in love with the sport. When you get close to this thing, it just sort of sucks you in, and you just fall in love with it. So when I see people like that, like Zuckerberg, love this thing as much as they do, it's fun. It's awesome. You done with me?
Dana over here?
Yeah.
To your left?
Yep.
Or to your right, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Throughout the entire promotion, Ilia Topuria was saying that he is not going to give any of the top guys a shot at the title if he were to win that, and he's been kind of chasing...
That's awesome. Great to hear.
He's been chasing this Conor McGregor fight, which seems a little unrealistic. What can you promise to the fans who want to know what's really next for Topuria?
You know how this works. You fight all the best in the world. He just won the title. He looks like a guy who could be one of the all-time greats. You got to clean out that division, and once you do, then you start figuring out what's next. How do I challenge myself? And if Conor McGregor, I don't know if we ever see Conor McGregor at 145 pounds again. If you had told me right here, right now, you know, tell me if you think it'll never. I don't think it ever happens, but everybody wants to fight.
He's kept saying at any weight, so obviously I'm sure Conor probably has other ideas of his return. But another Irishman on this card, Ian Gary, didn't really have a nice performance, pretty listless by most regards. What do you make of his performance tonight?
What do you mean by listless?
Just judging by the crowd's reaction and the way the fight unfolded.
So what do you mean? What did you hate about that fight?
What do you mean?
Just what?
Oh, he's back there. Hey, Ian! This guy thinks your fight sucked tonight. He wants to know my opinion on your fight sucking tonight.
They're all out. We do. Do you know what I mean? I keep winning, they keep fucking getting disappointed.
So what are you asking me about the fight?
I wanted to get your reaction to the performance because I know you put a lot of weight into what the crowd thinks about the fight. So just wanted to get your.
Well, I listen. The crowd came in and paid and broke the all-time California record, the gate record, and things like that. But it was a great card, and to say that his fight wasn't a good fight. Well, it might not have been a great fight compared to the rest of the night with the card, but. When you talk about bad cards, Toronto was a bad card. Toronto, oh, you know, we'll try to do better next time. But I wouldn't say that listen, did Ian go on and put on an unbelievable performance tonight? Like, knock down, drag him out, war, and win a fight? No, it wasn't Whitaker Costa, but he won the fight.
And lastly, UFC 300, now that we have an official main event, what is the co-main event going to be?
The co-main event is the other championship fight on the card.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dana back here.
Yep.